World of Warcraft's 20th anniversary event has arrived and it's running now from November to celebrate the original release of WoW in November 2004 all the way up till January the 8th in 2025, so you've got until then to finish all of the content. This is going to be a quick guide covering all if not most of all the content available and how you can complete it in as little time hopefully as possible. First of all, you want to go to Tanarus. This is where the main event stand is located, and the achievement we're going to be trying to unlock is called A Cool 20 Years. This will give you the Coldflame Tempest mount, which is a bird which is inspired by a lot of Blizzard Insider mounts. So there's a few prerequisites we're going to need to unlock. For an example, I have that one, so you need to match one mount in the Mount Mania event. Then also the Pet Mischief Achievement, so you need to match a pet's appearance. You can do this by using a mirror item, which I'll show you how to obtain on the fairgrounds. The Peanut Gallery Achievement basically requires you to react 50 times to the stories that Loremaster Cho tells in the storytelling minigame. Then we have a Gate Crasher, where you need to defeat at least one of the world bosses. This is Doomwalker, Archivon and Sharavanga. You can easily find groups for this. Fashion Critic requires you to cast one vote at the Fashion Frenzy minigame. Balloonist, you just ride one of the celebration balloons, which is really easy. And in Original, you defeat one of the other world bosses. You have Azyorgos, Lathon, Terrar, Lord Kazak, Emeris and Ysondra, and these are located in the Eastern Kingdoms for the most part and other areas of the game. And finally, the Codex, Editor and Courage. You just do the new scenario, the Codex of Chromies once to get this achievement. You can very easily just queue for this in the Dungeon Finder, and there's also a quest you can get from Chromies at the event stand, which will also give you some rewards for completing it, so make sure to pick that up before you actually queue for the instance. You'll also get a reward called Chromies Premium Goodie Bag. This will contain gear, as well as things like gold, Valor Stones, chance for crests and a Warbound until equipped item. Now remember to complete this achievement before January the 8th, because the event will go away and you'll no longer be able to get this mount ever again. Now the easiest achievement to get first as soon as you enter the ground is the Baloonist Achievement. All you do is you walk up to the balloons which are floating around and just literally mount up with one. They'll be all different colours, and all you have to do is just wait and keep holding on to it, and eventually you'll get the achievement unlock. This does take around 10 to 15 seconds because you'll be flying a little over some of the other stands in the area, but then you'll unlock the achievement pretty quickly. You also want to go around and talk to all the NPCs, because there's a lot of quest givers that will give you either daily quests or one-time quests. Some of them are warband quests, and some of them, for an example here, are PvP quests which you can do one time, where you'll get awarded a whole bunch of Timewarped badges for getting honour in Korroks Revenge, which is one of the unique PvP scenarios, as well as some mocks of honour, a glorious Contender's Chest and a bronze celebration cache, as well as some of the new currency which are the bronze celebration tokens. So there's a lot of different rewards you can get. Also, the Timely Gate Crashers quest is basically for killing some of those world bosses which you'll need for the achievement I mentioned earlier, so that's the Doomwalker, Sharavanga and Archivon the Stonewatcher. These are all located in Tanarus, so they're very close to the event stand, and you can just join the pre-made group finder to kill these bosses, and you'll get some of the similar rewards for this too. And be sure to go to the very centre of the podium, because there'll be some quests in there which are usually introductory quests, such as talk to a certain number of NPCs, which are the activity event organizers, which are located all around the grounds, and the welcome quests, which requires you to participate in all of the events which are shown at the top of the screen, where you can see next event story time. These rotate roughly every 15 to 20 minutes, and you'll get an XP and I believe a rep bonus for completing this, which goes up by 10% and lasts for 12 hours. Also, next to the Dark Iron Drill, you can find Moira Thorson. She will give you some quests which are related to the new Blackrock Depths events. These are also located in the Raid Finder. Completing these quests will give you bronze celebration tokens. These two quests are to defeat Emperor Thorson, and then the second quest is to recover the Timewarped Ironforged blueprints which you'll find from him when he's defeated. And also next to it there is also a gear vendor where you can get some pieces from as well. I do want to mention that inside the tent, which is below the Fashion Frenzy, there is actually the Black Market Auction House, which is kind of buried below and hidden here. So of course if you are max level then you can go under here to access this, but you do have to be at least level 80 to use it. And this is of course, as everyone knows, where you can find rare pets and exotic mounts which you can bid on for extreme amounts of gold, which you can probably never afford. Opposite the Dark Iron Drill you can find Chromies, so this is where you should pick up the Chromies Codex quest before you queue for that scenario dungeon which I mentioned earlier, just to make sure you get the extra cash and the rewards. You can do this every single day, but if you only want to do it once for the achievement and for the daily reward. It's best just to get the quest first and then do it once. It's important to note here you can find some portals, for an example to Oldham, Twilight Highlands and I believe Ice Crown. And there is also a pets and toys vendor which are nearby at a stand here, and they sell mostly the same things as they do in Dalaran, but I believe there's a few extras in there that you might find that aren't in certain other places. In the sense you'll also find some vendors which have some brand new items. There's some really nice gear sets, transmog pieces and pets over here, but it's the mounts that really caught my eye. You can buy them with 5,000 Timewarped badges. You have the Oil Chiller, which is just a reskin of the Deathwing mount, but it looks really cool, so it's definitely worth picking up. And you can still get that Deathwing mount in case you missed it during the last anniversaries. And there's also a new Illidari Doomwalker mount which you can pick up too, which looks really basic and it is using an old model, but it's worth picking up if you want to increase your number of mounts. And there's also some really cool appearance sets like the Edwin Van Cleef set, which I couldn't preview, but it might be worth picking up. There's a lot of different items for people who love transmogs. I'm mostly a mount collector and not really a pet collector anymore, so I didn't really bother wasting time buying some of these, but they're definitely worth adding to your collection. They may just take a little bit of a time to grind them. And there is a quest which you can pick up for doing 5 Timewalking dungeons, which gives you some bronze celebration tokens and a cash. And a quest you can do every day to answer a lore question. So if you feel like you're a Loremaster, you just basically answer one Warcraft question every single day, and if you get it right, you'll get like 5 Timewarped badges, which honestly is kind of a scam and probably not worth doing, but it takes like a second of your time. There's also some new anniversary transmog sets. There's actually one available, I believe, for each and every single class. There's some really nice looking ones too. The Death Knight one looks really nice. It's almost like a Blood Elf Heritage style set, and a lot of them are based on classic armor, so they're remakes. For an example, the Paladin Judgment set is a remake of the old Judgment gear, which looks even better, and you can see with my Ashbringer here, which I've transmogged, it just looks absolutely incredible. So if you haven't got a cool transmog, or if you're looking for some legacy gear, these are really cool options, especially this Bloodfang remake too for rogues, which is super cool if you want like a vampiric character or a warlock or warrior with that Burning Crusade style art style for the models. These are definitely worth picking up. Don't forget to check out some of the other vendors. For example, you can get the Obsidian Worldbreaker from one of the other vendors. That's of course the Deathwing mount. And then there's a few pets from the past that they've brought back. For an example, the Molten Corgi pet. You also have the Onyxian Whelpling, and one of my favorites which I decided to buy, the Baby Blizzard Bear, which I believe was from either BlizzCon or an old event of some sort, which is probably one of the rarest pets they brought back. And these are only 10 tokens. Tokens are quite hard to earn, but in comparison to the other rewards, it's really not that much. And then you can also buy some Timewarped gear as well. Now these cost a combination of Timewarped badges and the bronze celebration tokens, so you will need to save both of these currencies to afford some of these. To participate in an event which is shown at the top, you just need to fly to the area where the event is being hosted. They're pretty self-explanatory. You can usually find people waiting around the areas for the current event, and then you just have to wait for the timer. If you hover over the event at the top, it will show you if it's starting in the next 15, 10, maybe 5 minutes. It'll show you when it's about to start, and then the event will begin. For the Mount Mania event, you basically need to mirror someone's mount. I'd recommend downloading either the add-on Me Too and then making a macro for the command, so you can copy someone's mount when you press the button or type /Me Too. Or you could also download the Mount Journal Enhanced add-on, which has a button which adds to the Mount Journal to basically copy the mount of a player or NPC when you select them and press the button. So it's a lot easier than opening up your journal, searching for the mount every single time a new mount comes up in this minigame. It's the quickest and easiest way to do it. Now if you're using the Me Too add-on, basically when you try to copy a mount you don't have, your character just cries, but if you have it in your mount journal, it will of course mount you up. And you just need to do this as many times as possible and at least match or mirror one mount that the NPC has in the minigame to get the achievement for the cool 20 years master achievement. You'll likely lose this because there's a lot of whales and rich players with some of the most rarest and expensive mounts here, so you're probably not going to be the winner in the end, but it's still a funny minigame. And remember to talk to all of the NPCs around the fair, and also if you talk to the shopkeepers, those 2 quests will give you some free tokens too. Now for the achievement for killing the world bosses, they're very simple. There are 3 of them in Tanarus. All you do is find them. They'll be highlighted by a big silver dragon or gold dragon marker on the map. Then you open up the pre-made groups finder in the other or miscellaneous category and just sign up for all the groups for that specific boss until you get invited, and then just kill each of the bosses. Remember, you've got the Doomwalker, which is the easiest to do first. Then you can go ahead and do the Shore of Anger, and then after that you can go ahead and defeat Archathon the Stonewatcher. And these will give you the achievement for killing just one of them, but I recommend just killing all 3 because you'll get some rewards like loot as well, and then turn in for the rewards. Now the Peanut Gallery achievement is probably one of the most annoying and grindy achievements, because basically you just have to react to Lore Walker Cho's stories when certain events take place. There'll be a button on your action bar at the bottom and you just basically react. It'll do emotes like booing or cheering or laughing, and there'll just be a few each story that you can do. You need to do a total of 50, but most of the time when you spawn and you leave an instance or you come to the event, it will be like midway through or about to end, so you'll only end up doing like 2 or 3 reactions. So you'll have to do this multiple times throughout the day or over the course of a few days to actually get this achievement, which probably takes the longest out of the achievement to get the mount. So I'd recommend to either do this one first or do it last, because it will take some time. The Fashionista achievement is actually really easy to do. You just go to the Fashion Frenzy event and basically you can pick up some voting medallions on the side of the stage. These will basically allow you to cast a few different votes for your favourites, so the players that have the coolest, nicest looking transmogs. I of course didn't win this because there's some people with some pretty zany transmogs on here, and also people are voting for the friends. Just grab the tokens and just basically vote and you'll just get the achievement. I think you have to just vote for one, so you get it pretty quickly. Don't forget to do Korroks Revenge. It's basically a special scenario event which is based on the Ultrak Valley battleground. There's also a few daily quests and one-time quests within this inside some of the camps and small POIs in the BG, so you can pick up some Timewarped badges by completing these. These are for things like capturing the graveyard or bringing back materials to some of the NPCs or vendors, providing that you've actually captured the area as your team. Then you should be able to do the quests and hand them in later. There's a lot of quests here to do and they'll take a long time, and it's best to do them on a PvP character so you've actually got gear to be able to do damage and kill players, because otherwise it will be super hard. So don't do this on a PvE character. But it's definitely worth grinding this out, even if it takes you a few hours or a few days. The Korroks Revenge battleground sometimes lasts an hour or longer, which is really irritating, and I actually got up and had a break because I'd been sat down for so long, and then I just got kicked and got an abandonment and I lost all my progress. Pet Mischief Achievement is also quite easy. Just find the pet vendor Petra near the pet area, and next to her will be a pet mirror item which you can pick up. There are some other mirror toys in the game, but you can't use them for this achievement, so you will need to pick this up. And then all you do is summon any battle pet from your pet journal and then use the pet mirror on it. This will give you the Pet Mischief Achievement and transform you into your pet, which is kind of creepy. Next up is an original achievement. So these are the other world bosses which aren't in Tanaris, and for the most part they're located in the Eastern Kingdoms. The first one is Ysondra, which is in the Dream Burrow in Feralis. This is actually a surprisingly quite tough boss fight, and you're probably going to wipe a whole bunch of times. And also as Yorgos, which is the blue dragon in Ashara, is literally no different. I just kept constantly wiping and wiping on this. You will need a massive group to kill that world boss. You can't get away with killing this one with a small group at all. Even with a big group, it's pretty hard. And finally, when you complete all of the achievements and you get that blasted Peanut Gallery achievement, you will eventually unlock the Cool 20 Years achievement and get the Coldflame Tempest, possibly one of the coolest mounts right now from the event, which is definitely worth unlocking. And as you can see, the mount actually looks pretty nice. I'll give you a nice little showcase of it. I hope this WoW 20th anniversary guide has helped you unlock the mount, the achievements, and find your way around the fairgrounds and the content which they've added in this update. If you found it useful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to support me making more helpful content like this, and consider watching this video next to continue.